Alright, guys. Yes, it is that time of the morning. It is the NASQ Chill Zone Drama Free. And today, it's also going to be very hot. Just like the song by Ella Fitzgerald, we're going to having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Oh yes, temperatures rise, and not surprising that she can. They're having a heat wave, she lit her seat wave. Alright, so good morning everybody, and welcome back to another show. I don't know what Ella Fitzgerald would say if I was saying that. I don't know. Anyway, I gotta play that on the NASQ Silvermoon Radio, AM 1610. I gotta look for that record by Ella Fitzgerald. Today, of course, is Thursday, and it's going to be a hot one. And for some people, it's not. Rusty's here, by the way. Hold on, Rusty. Let me get Rusty Cam up. We all know Rusty Cam. We all like to see Rusty Cam. Yeah, let's get Rusty Cam up real quick. He wants his turn at the camera. Yeah, there he is. So the main thing is this morning is it's gonna be hot. High of 34 degrees in Winstead, and not a nice day at all. It's gonna be steaming. It's gonna be cooking. It's already 27 degrees Celsius at this moment. So it's not going to be the kind of day to rush out and be doing much at all. Yeah. I mean, this poor guy is trying to find this cool spot. So trust me, it's not just me. Let's see. Yeah, there's his back end. Come on, Rusty. I don't want to see your bumhole. Hi, Andrew. Not hot in Europe as yet. Oh, 49. Ouch. I can barely handle 34. Never mind 49. 49 is misery. I cannot visualize being at 49 degrees Celsius. The only thing I forgot to do is open up the panel for the mods. Let me get that link going. I've already covered the major topics I wanted to address in the vlog, because I figured that would be easier for me to organize my thoughts. And so we did that. I brought them together in a vlog. And so, yes, indeedly so. Okay, let me switch the camera over here before I forget. So the cat is doing good. I'm doing good in the neighborhood. Yeah. Unfortunately for Ed, he found out the hard way what happens if you eat high fructose corn syrup when you have gout. It makes it so much worse. He said, I thought grape jelly was good for me. Did you check the ingredients? Technically, grapes are a form of fructose in there, natural fructose and plant sugars, and yet they also have high fructose corn syrup for their taste to make them extra sweet. Why is it with the food companies pushing high fructose corn syrup so much? This stuff is nasty. So he's kind of took a step back. I'm hoping that he'll be better in a little bit. Yeah. So let me just quickly clarify a few points before I forget. While the resolution for the American Families Plan, the start discussions on the American Family Plan has been voted on in the Senate. The finished bill is not voted on yet. Right now, it's a blank. It's a blank slate. It's a blank check. So now what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to figure out how to spend the 3.5. Cat sheds. I brushed his fur this morning and he still sheds. So there is discussion to now figure out how to spend that blank check that they gave themselves of $3.5 trillion. Right now, at this point, there is no stimulus bill in the check yet. Doesn't mean there won't be. It just means that there's nothing yet. Okay? Chuck Schumer has said that he hopes to have the bill ready to go to the House by September 15th, which means they have to vote once the bill is finally put together, the final bill, and then it can go to the House along with the American Infrastructure Plan. Nancy Pelosi has said that she will not vote on them separately. As I said, she wants it as an and. Bill 1 and Bill 2. If it was an or, it could have been Bill 1 or Bill 2. Well, she's insisting that they vote on together. So, which means that they got to pass this. Or the American Infrastructure Bill will not pass either, because she'll just let it die. She's a harsh mistress. Hi, Burger, what are you doing? When it comes, almost like a slave driver in a way. She's insisting on legislation to get this happen the way she wants it to happen. Now, I know, Burger Boy, you saw today's video before this one. And I recommend that everybody look at it. If you can get a chance to watch the video, please do. It goes into a lot of details that I'm not going to rehash here. I mean, you can rehash it there if that's your thing. Okay? But let me see. Let's go ahead and copy the link and paste it here. Let's see. You can check this out and look at it. It's pretty much as a morning vlog before the live stream. It's much better organized. It explains everything that's going on. So you can actually enjoy it, watching it at your leisure. Now, because of the financial hardships at this point, I had to turn on mid-roll ads. If you have YouTube Red or Red or Premium or whatever they call it these days, you don't have to worry about that. I'm glad the tooth was fixed. Though today was a killer day. Yeah, you're probably sore. What did the dentist do? Did he remove it? Did he give you a crown on it? What did he do? Or cap? Well, anyway, I just absolutely I'm going to find that the high heat is misery for me. I'm sure the same is true for you, Andrew, where you are. In Europe is with just the high temperatures. Is it climate change? Yes. Is it global warming? It's a little more complicated than that. Is it man-made? Not really. See, that's the thing. I'm going to stand behind that, because I can prove to you that depending which scientists you talk to, they say the actual amount of carbon dioxide created by man-made processes is not enough to really cause a significant temperature rise. I didn't say it can't cause a rise. I just said it may not be able to cause a significant temperature rise. However, with all the wildfires, which is not man-made, and burning like crazy, such as the Dixie Fire, the River Fire in California, is making a huge amount of carbon dioxide, ash, and particulates in the air in the West. With the dry tinder situation, there is very little that you can do to put out a fire when you don't have water. firemen and fire brigades are probably working really hard to try to protect as much as they can. But with the lack of water, they're just finding it very hard to control fire. Andrew says, well, Southern Europe is always hot in the summer, but the Greek and Italian wildfires are really bad this year. So a lot of it is due to arson. That might be a possibility what happened with the Dixie fire. Although Pacific Gas and Electric said that they believe a dried tinder branch fell on a power line, which caused an arc flashover, which caused the fire. So not exactly arson, but just a combination of bad things coming together. And lightning strikes also caused a lot of the fires as well. If you want to come on the panel, all hailing frequencies are open. And if you want to come on the panel, all hailing frequencies are open if you feel up to it. Come on, spell me at the wheel here, please. Sometimes I need a little help. Which brings the question, how is the European power grid handling this? Especially Germany, which keeps promoting, saying that they're so green and with lots of solar and wind. How are they managing this? The demand for air conditioning. They must be having a really hard time with the amount of demand for air conditioning. Fortunately enough for us this week, after tomorrow, I will verify this with Siri. Let's get Siri on the phone. What is the weather in Winston, Connecticut?
It's currently clear and 28 degrees in Winston, Connecticut.
Right. Today's going to be a high of 33. Tomorrow's going to be a high of 33 for Friday. Saturday's going to be a high of 27. Sunday's going to be a high of 26. Okay. Next thing to check is, because something that makes a difference is this. What is the humidity in Winston, Connecticut?
The humidity in Winston, Connecticut is currently 68%.
Right now it's mild for us. I see that by next Saturday, not this Saturday it'll be a high of 27 with 20% chance of rain. Next Saturday it'll be high at 24 with a 20% chance of rain. So we just got to hold out as long as we can at this point. And how you doing, Oral? Not sure, but the heat is going to move north, and the original heat. Look at this. An original heat wave came up Europe from the North Africa, which is not unusual in August. Yeah, we have something similar happens when the heat from the southern states come up to the New England area on the coastline and some in the interior, and just makes things so oppressively nasty. I can't really visualize being in the 40s. Sorry. I really seriously would need my air conditioner, or maybe to be able to sleep in an ice house or a place with lots of cold temperatures are. I've always kind of thought it would be better if someone could put me in a medically induced coma during the summer, because it's so nasty for me in the summers. It makes me depressed, makes me moody. But then if I can't afford $250,000 for knee service, forget paying for some doctor to knock me out cold and give me an ICU for the next 3 to 6 months. That's not going to happen either. Well, last night, by the way, we had the live stream. It was pretty good. I was outside, but it was, it was just too hot to be in the studio. Um, so we had a chance to get together and talk things out and do things together. This is cool. And also, I'm looking to see if there's any comments coming in from the support group. Nothing. Not a single person. Not a peep. Currently, right now, we have 12 people on, which is good. 12 people is always good. Yeah, get a chance to find out what's going on in the world around us. Because of the filtering for background noise that OBS has, you cannot hear the fans going like crazy in here. There is a fan in the window in the other room blowing the air from the outside through the apartment, and then there's another fan next to me that's on low, that's blowing the cooler air on me. I said cooler, not cold. Unfortunately, I don't have it. I only have one air conditioner because my electrics can't handle more than one air conditioner at this point. So I am doing Skunk Ape. So, by the way, like I said, we have been trying to add some more shows. People have asked me if we're going to do any more videos and stuff. I can. Please understand, I can only add them both. Seriously, I can only have 3 videos and still receive notifications on those 3 videos. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, my electrical bill can be any lower, trust me. I'm wondering if it'd be cheaper to run a diesel generator and just run the air conditioner off a diesel generator. Or maybe get the kind of or air conditioning system they use in refrigerated cargo trucks. Just, mount it in the window and just basically run it off of diesel fuel. Make my bedroom freezing cold. If doesn't get mad when it gets too cold. It's like, Michelle, I'm freezing. Sorry, you said you were too hot. Now I'm too cold. Finally found the numbers that kind of work, but then even they're not. Once the sun hits that side of that building, all bets are off because the poor air conditioner is too small. They can't really get rid of all the heat that hits the side of the building because the building's not insulated. So it just gets hot. So those refrigerated box trucks, I wonder how much it costs to run those diesel air refrigeration units. If you have the diesel fuel, I wonder how much it costs to run those. Probably not much cheaper than it would cost to run a big badass air conditioner out in the window. Kind of wish my landlord could install a mini split. I think a mini split would be nice. But then we have to rewire the electrics, and he's not going to spend any money to send the Sparky down here to rewire the place. I don't particularly blame him, but yeah. Well, this monthly electric bill is like $140. So I got it. Actually, about $160. I have a variant. Swimming pumps. Then that's not energy efficient. Pumps should be running only as it really needs to. Maybe like if you get time of day metering, it might be cheaper to run them at night when you do the chlorination process. Donations are accepted, guys. Don't forget that. Super Chat is active. Yeah, I know that. I get that. You know, please consider Super Chat. It would be so much appreciated. Yeah, this would be so much appreciated. Quite a ways below the $100. Well, like $40 short. $40 to $50 short. That's why we've been running so many additional mid-roll ads. Is because we have to make up on what we lost. I think, by the way, I found out one thing that I would definitely suggest: don't drink during the heat. Is don't drink colas or caffeinated beverages. I mean, not all fizzy drinks are bad, but just stay away from those contain high fructose corn syrup. Stay away from those that have caffeine. You don't need that. I'll be honest, though, not all the beverages you can get at the store are free high fructose corn syrup, as I told that. It's prevalent in the United States in everything. For some reason, the high fructose corn syrup, which is cheaper than cane sugar, is in everything you buy. And it turns out that for rheumatoid arthritis, gout, and the arthritis I have, high fructose corn syrup is not good for you. You know, especially rheumatoid and gout, which are inflammatory arthritis. It is really bad for you. So, if you're really having any issues with rheumatism or gout, don't drink anything with high fructose corn syrup in it. Okay? Ease up on the caffeine. Don't drink too much caffeinated stuff either. Well, that's fine if that's what you like. If that's what your body will tolerate. I can't do that. I can't drink that. I can't drink scotch anyway. I'm a predisposed alcoholic. I cannot touch it. But I made a decision not to get into that stuff. So if you ever look at what I do, you know, just trying to hold on my own during these hot days. Also, let's keep up with the likes, guys. Come on, let's pepper the like jar. Let's fill it up. You know, because I mean, I know we can talk about other things too besides this. I mean, it's just it also desiccates your systems and dry you out. I hope you're drinking plenty of water to go with that. You need to drink lots of water. On a hot day, it's the water you need way more than anything. I don't care if you're drinking any spring water or if you're drinking tap water, whatever. You need water. You need to drink as much water as you can. You want to keep your pee as clear as possible. Don't let it get dark, because if it does, that means you're not drinking enough water. You gotta drink lots of water. And when you start having high temperatures in the 30s, you better be drinking water, because that means your body is going to be dumping a lot of it as a form of evaporative cooling. Alcohol on a bad day is a bit risky unless you have tons of water mixed. Absolutely. Alcohol is a diuretic. It'll dry you out. I've had a friend that was an alcoholic who died from a heart attack while he was drunk on a construction site doing work. You need to make sure to drink lots of water or lots of healthy fruit juices. Well, just be remember what Montgomery Scott said. Aye, Captain, there's no point in drinking if you're not ready to pay for it. You're going to be paying for it. Maybe not now, but when you get to be older, you're going to be paying for it. Just be aware of that. So, what's going to happen now? Well, first of all, a lot of people, just to get into other news, are totally up in arms against the idea of another lockdown. People are finally starting to take offense to the idea of another masking mandate. And on top of that, people are also getting very upset with the concept of critical race theory because it's not based on sound facts. Notice it's a theory, it's not based on facts. Andrew said, I worked with a guy that was constantly drunk at work, and you would never know it. Though the management did because he could actually do his job better, drunk because he was a functional alcoholic. Kind of reminds me of Dr. Johnny Fever, WKRP in Cincinnati, trying to pass the sobriety test. His reflexes were faster drunk than when he was sober. So how you doing, Gianni? It's a good point though. I mean, some people when they get drunk, they seem to do better, but then there's exceptions to the rules. There's exceptions to any rules. I haven't seen anybody who can prove that's consistent across the board. If that was consistently proven across the board, maybe I would be maybe more likely to get blitzed. But seriously, I don't drink, so I just choose not to. Although this was years ago, they would never allow it now, thankfully. Right. So there's a school district, I think it was in West Virginia, that is very clearly, the school board has made a very specific decision on gender, the LGBTQY issues. They've worked hard to deal with the LGBTQY issues of gender people, transgender, and people in school activities to participate in their gender. And so that was the low-down school district to work that out. However, in the state of Georgia, however, we have another problem. A black principal is created her school to be a segregated school and has enabled the equivalent of the Jim Crow laws in her school, thus segregating the white versus black students into separate sections of the school. A black mother got mad at this black principal. This is a black principal that did this, not a white principal, and is filing a federal lawsuit against the school system in Atlanta, Georgia, saying that it goes against the 1962 Equal Rights Amendment. Glad to know that somebody is picking up some common sense and saying that this is not acceptable. And it's a black principal doing this, not a white principal. And a black mother is upset. So the black mother has filed a federal lawsuit against the public elementary school. She wanted her black daughter to be able to enter a white classroom, which she felt would be better suitable for her daughter. And the principal, which is a black principal, said, "Nope, sorry, can't put your daughter in with the whites. She's got to be in the colored section." That's total bullshit. There's no reason why we should be doing this at all. I have no idea how that works. Oral in Atlanta, I don't know. But the point is, why in the hell is a black principal supporting Jim Crow type legislation or policies? You would think that would be the last thing that you would want to see. You would think that if you're a black principal, you'd be like, no, we're not going there. And yet she's the one who's instituting this in her elementary school. Wow. Talk about backwards. Where are the white women at? Where's all the women? Where's all the women in this channel besides me? Where are the rest of them? Well, one of them has got the Delta variant and she's offline. One of them stormed out here because she thought I was trying to take Paul's side, which I'm not interested in taking Paul's side. I tried to negotiate with him. It's just not happening. I can't get him to understand what I will not tolerate. Until he agrees to terms, he is not coming on here. So, I mean, I think it's disgusting. What in the hell has happened to this society? And let's talk about critical race theory for a minute. It's a theory that makes no sense in this country. The whole concept is that our legislation is designed to keep to enforce racism. That is bullshit. Our country was never. I mean, sure, we had mistakes in the past, as I mentioned the Jim Crow laws. And in this case, like I said, it's a black principal that's pushing it in her school. Segregation. What a pile of crap. Several teachers have said, and different Board of Education said, we're not supporting CRT. Because it's not based on common sense. It's baloney. I know YouTube may be very sensitive about that. But people do not believe, at least most people don't believe in it. Society is falling apart, says Oral. Have you seen the chaos in South Africa? And the Taliban is taking over Afghanistan again? I'm not surprised. And no, I don't know what's going on in South Africa. But I have always known that South Africa has always been a hotbed of issues of the apartheid and all the remainders of it, and the white apartheid and the black apartheid. I've seen it. Shout out to the 14 in the stream, which I don't know who they are. There are a lot of people listening, but I can tell you that. So is India. India is falling with a huge number of people succumbing to COVID-19 Delta variant. Dear Lord Jesus, I know you're my brother and everything. Get over here. Get your ass down here. Let's fix this problem once and for all. Let's start bringing in the new kingdom that everybody keeps talking about. Seriously. That's why I'm not coming back after this life on this planet. No way. But the watch time is appreciated. Yes, it does get appreciated. I find that the whole idea of what's going on in this earth unsettling. Jesus, get your butt down here. Yahweh, send your son down here. Send my brother down here. Let's go kick some butt and take names. It's time to straighten out this mess. Once and for all. It doesn't matter if you were a Christian or non-Christian. You know what I'm talking about. It don't matter if you believe in the Ragnarok. It don't matter if you believe in Armageddon or the Rapture, or if you believe in the Return or the Anunnaki or whatever. It's time to do a full planetary reset. Time to start fresh. Fix the things that are broken, finally. Time to send the old world order packing their bags and get them out of here. Yeah, I know that. Another thing is when are the supposedly elected few going to be join Jesus in the clouds? I haven't seen it yet. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying I haven't seen it yet. Our society can't even seem to figure out the problems, how to solve the problems. Damn it. I can't believe how skewed this planet's become. It's so skewed, it's not even... I don't even know what the logic a lot of this stuff is. I'm seeing critical race theory isn't based on any facts. Okay? China's in lockdown again. China, when they go into lockdown, we suffer because all the ports are closed. Andrew, you may be an atheist, but you do see it. You see what's going on. The sad truth is, as long as the bureaucrats and the politicians can't come up with a solution, they can't solve anything. I tried, and it's not working. It's not working. It does feel strange to go places without having to wear masks or distance now. You're lucky. Because they're trying to push that crap back on America again. But not all of America is going for it. Not all the mayors and governors are supporting it. Some mayors and governors are saying, nope, not in my state. Critical race theory sounds like the prison philosophy. I don't know about prison philosophy, but the point is it's not based on logic. Yet the cases are still continuing to fall, but I reckon it's because of a combo of so many having had the vaccine and the probable herd immunity. Probably. I don't know what that is, but I mean, I'll tell you what. After the show, after I do Meals on Feet, after I get the food, after I bring it back here, I go in the bedroom, lay down in the only room in the house that has air conditioning. It's just... I have plenty of sugar-free diet, caffeine-free Sprite on hand. I have orange drink, which unfortunately does have high fructose corn syrup. I can drink that. Ed can't. All right, so that's why I bought him the Sprite. I don't know what that is. I know that CVS has more drinks available, but it's frustrating with himself because for 2 days he had jam on his bagels, and now he has suffered a setback. I told him, I said, "Did you look at the ingredients? Grapes have fructose in them naturally, but they're also sweetened with high fructose corn syrup." He said, "I didn't think of that." I said, "Yep." He said, "It could be also because my body's trying to detoxify itself." I said, "Yep, that too." I can tell you from what I saw with Ed, gout sucks. Okay? Inflammatory arthritis sucks. Regular arthritis sucks. I have regular arthritis. It sucks, okay? It hurts. And sometimes it seems like some days my right leg hurts worse than others, and other days it's A-okay, Captain. So he's doing okay, but it still hurts. I'm trying to keep active. Now, you're probably asking yourself a very valid question. What are you going to do tonight after the sun goes down? 10 o'clock. I don't know. Are we going to have another show? Oh, cat hair. Ugh. Probably will be. Probably will be having another another show tonight. Let me go blow my nose real quick. Ugh. Alright, just give me a minute. Right back. Okay, ow. Alright. So, you can see what my hair looks like when I'm not wearing the cans in my head. No, I didn't put my ears back on. I'm going to put them back on, but not right now. Okay, so. I don't know what that is. I don't want to find out. So the point is, the East Coast has got the heat right now, which is making everybody in the East Coast miserable. The West Coast is burning up. California is becoming a charcoal briquette. And as Andrew said, the wildfires in Italy and Greece are going crazy. The temperatures of 40 Celsius and hotter. And yeah, I wish we had some more detailed information on what's going on with the stimulus check. Just to let you know that, as I said, that Chuck Schumer said he hopes to have the bill ready by September 15th. Yeah, that's hot. That's hot. And of course, we all know Italy doesn't invest in air conditioning. They usually, most Italians usually spend most of the time in the plazas. I don't know what they're going to do with the case of the COVID. The COVID-19 is really affecting a lot of people's lives. Biblically says if California managed their forest properly, they wouldn't have all this wildfires. Except that they also have a water problem. They're in a severe drought. So the forests were still dry tinder anyway. They believe that the Dixie Fire was caused by a tree branch falling onto a live electrical wire on a pole and caused it to arc over and start a fire. But yeah, you're right. In fact, Donald Trump even said something similar about California and the forest management or lack of it. That is where your carbon dioxide is coming from. It's burning forests. All the carbon dioxide, all the carbon monoxide, all the particulates. Of course, it's going to increase the CO2 of the planet. You're burning all those products that over through the years of photosynthesis have sequestered carbon dioxide into its plant. When you burn it, you send the carbon dioxide back out into the atmosphere. Not exactly something that you're going to hear much from the Kyoto or the IPCC talk about. Do I go to the library? They want zero carbon. Oh, we are carbon. Yeah, well, that, like I said, carbon neutral. It's not going to happen. Carbon neutral is a fallacy. It can't happen. Here's the way you sell carbon neutral. You want to be carbon neutral? You plant trees. Lots and 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 lots of trees. You fill up every forest, every vale, every dale with trees. To the trees as far as ye eye can see. But then you're going to have another problem. And California is full of it. Too much dry tinder. And then it's going to fall on an electrical wire as it did in the Dixie Fire. And the next thing you know, everything goes up like a Roman candle. Don't even ask me how we're going to do it when we finally get to Mars. I don't even know how we're going to solve that. But where do you plant them? They put houses up nowadays where there's open land. Very simple. You would have to turn the open land back into forests. You would have to build your houses in the forests. Maybe build houses out of trees. Well, we already do. It's good. It's what's called stick construction. But maybe we can build a house in a living tree. I'll leave that for you to figure that one out. A new set of Chicago. I'm back for a cow set Chicago on fire back in the day. And an arcing power line has set California on fire in this day. Hi, Rachel. How are you doing? It's been a while since I've seen you. Oh, hailing frequencies are open. If you have time to join us on the panel, there's no one here right now. But like I said, all hailing frequencies are open if you want to join me on the panel. There's nobody here. Those poor almond farmers down in California are cutting down their own trees. What are they doing with them? Turning them into firehoods? They're probably cutting them down because they probably want to make sure they don't spread the fire further. The Dixie and the river fires are destroying the state of California. It was fun. I didn't want to leave, but after I smacked my body off the water from falling off the bed ski and about 20 mosquito bites, it's good to be home again. Yes. Yeah, actually, it's not really that bad when you think about it, though, Oral. A gallon of water to grow. But they are so short of water right now. What are they going to do? What are you going to do? You can't, it's, oh yeah, let's talk about another thing related to why we basically cleared so much damn land in the first place. Modern agriculture and beef industry. Everybody likes meat. I mean, even the vegetarians acknowledge this. The meat is a major staple of the modern diet. Modern agricultural techniques require cleared land, even to grow vegetables. And yet we are incursioning into the natural habitats of many plants and animals and destroying them. All for this, because we need to feed a larger human population. Right. In fact, right now the problem is Lake Mead is so low that the power plant is in the risk of actually having to shut down. They don't have enough water to guarantee that they can keep generating electricity. Do you think California will be hit with a big one soon? Talk about adding insult to injury. They already got enough problems. They don't need an earthquake on top of what they got. Really, they don't need an earthquake on top of this. They are already suffering. It's not impossible, though. Someday soon, a new Madrid fault line is going to rupture here on the East Coast, and the next thing you know, we're going to see some serious damage, too. We have dry woods, too. We have dry timber. What happens to our forests? Connecticut doesn't really have any wildfires. I'm not saying we can't. It just don't seem to be a big deal like it is in California. They shut down the Oroville, California hydroelectric plant for the first time since it was built in 1966. Exactly. Hoover Dam is next. Hoover Dam is going to be next. What's going to happen then? When you start shutting down power plants, especially with the fact that everybody wants to run their air conditioner, there ain't going to be enough energy. People are going to start blowing fuses in the power grids, and the ISOs, independent service operators, are not going to be able to keep up with the demand. Hoover Dam is going to be the next one. When that goes down, you can bet Where were you when all the lights went out in Southern California, in Nevada? Like Las Vegas will not be the same once they turn off the neon signs. Or even charging your electric cars. Big people, like some people are going to go, I need a generator. Okay. Where are you going to get the fuel? You can't get fuel because most gas stations don't have generators to run them as backup. And in areas of California, like Oxnard, California, that basically made it illegal to put in natural gas in new homes, you are going to find out that those people are going to be the least prepared because they can't cook, they can't heat. Oh, look at this right now. Heating isn't the biggest problem, but the fact is those people are going to suffer. I would say in some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I say here's why. The air conditioners themselves do not produce carbon dioxide. Unless you're talking about ammonia-based absorption air conditioners that use a gas flame to boil the ammonia, which then chills the water that runs through the pipes and goes to the condenser coil inside the building. Most air conditioning is electric, which is what they believe evaporative, not absorption. If you're talking about the fuel consumption right now, they're having to turn more and more fossil fuel plants on because there's not enough. Like as I said, Oroville Dam shut down. Lake Mead's going to shut down. Then everybody's going to have to start burning coal and oil and gas to make up for what they can't get from the hydroelectric plants. We went from a chicken in every pot to a 60-watt in every house. I don't think it was a benefit either way. Right now, I'm looking into some rechargeable LED light sources. What do I mean by rechargeable LED light sources? Rechargeable LED lamps. Just like a cell phone. You plug them into the mains, charge them up, you can unplug them, and they will provide power for 4 to 6 hours. And then you don't have to be plugged into the grid. They only draw 1.5 watts. So theoretically speaking, you could theoretically power them with a small little solar bank. Power bank that can charge up your little light fixtures, your little desk lamps. I have those. Okay. And you know what I wanted to ask you, Bubba, if you could tell me anything about them. 1.5 watts. Are they bright enough for reading books and for everyday task lighting that you would do in a desk? How are they for everyday task lighting? Are they bright enough? I have a small solar panel in the back. Charge them during the day. They ran about 8 hours a night. Well, that's good. That's good. But how bright are they? I mean, are they bright enough to read a book by? Do every typical clerical tasks, or are they too dim? I mean, are they equivalent to a typical 60-watt incandescent as far as brightness goes? I thought you were talking about Lucy Light WS. I don't know what that is. Right. Well, I think that if I could get the money together and I could invest and maybe put in one big 275-watt panel in my window, maybe I can get some sun, a charge controller, a nice lithium-ion battery pack that could keep some things running without having to use the grid for everything. You have 10 lumens. That's too dark. This bulb here gives off about 750 lumens, equivalent to about a 60-watt bulb. That's the thing is that I noticed that with eBay's, I mean, they're not telling me the lumen output to these light fixtures. I need to know how bright they are. That make a difference. Sunbeam makes a rechargeable desk lamp. There are third-party manufacturers, OEMs, that make them too, but I don't know anything about them. Someone said check the Dollar Tree or Dollar General or Poundland to find the same thing. Maybe there might be a cheaper one at Dollar General or Dollar Tree or Poundland. Well, I don't have Poundland in the U.S., so we'd have to check out Dollar General. I believe they also own Poundland too. I'm thinking about putting some under-counter battery lights in my kitchen. That again can run off 12 volts DC or even 5 volts DC. If I had a nice way to keep them charged up. Energy is what you need. Talk about green movements. A solar panel, say a 275 watt panel, just to charge your laptop and your lights. That's possible. You know. I don't know what Pruno is, but I don't know why he keeps bringing it up. But we need more. We need to find a better solution to these problems of this world. Okay, I can't stop the pandemic. I can't stop the fact that the society is going through the shitter. We already know that. I can't stop that. But what I could do is try to find an alternative way to save a little bit of electricity here and there. And let's be honest, this computer here runs at maximum load, takes 950 watts. It's a workstation. It is a beast of a power consumer. The laptop doesn't consume that much. It uses an 80 watt power brick to charge. But either way, let's see, lights over 300 lumens. Okay, so it's coming to what? About a 35 watt, 30 watt bulb. Yeah, this computer really sucks it out. 950 watts when it's running. Laptop doesn't use that much. Laptop is actually pretty efficient. But this desktop ain't so efficient. Most desktops are like that. And that's not even a gaming laptop with LEDs and RGB and video cards that consume 450 watts, top of the line gaming platform, but still uses a lot of power. But on the other hand, isn't this what the Green New Deal is supposed to be? Lower your ecological footprint. Somebody call me? Oh, no, I'm supposed to be the neighbor. 5 lots equivalent Well, that would be what? Incandescent, what? About a 50-watt bulb? But the only problem is a 50-watt bulb is about 750 lumens. 625 maybe. If you're using one of those miser bulbs. Yeah. Green New Deal isn't so bad if these people realize common sense kicks in, which is this. Who's going to finance all the upgrades? And how does it affect apartment dwellers? We don't have money for solar panels on our roof. We don't have access to the roof. We don't have access to being able to have a battery backup storage system with a trace inverter. We don't have access to this for apartment renters. And they talk about energy rebates for those who own houses. As long as, if it's strictly a grid intertie system, it does you no good if the power grid goes down. You need a system that can actually, when the power grid goes down, that you can still generate your own inverted electricity of 120 volts, 240, whatever, so you can still see what the hell you're doing. Wow. That's why it makes sense to have a system that has both. You can sell power back to the electric grid and at the same time provide power if the power grid goes down. You can still have power. It's a logical way of dealing with the lack of power. They also make USB rechargeable floor lamps. But they're still very expensive and god-awful ugly. They're so modern. How would you be able to put a traditional light fixture, like a table lamp or something? Oh, I know what you're going to say. Well, just go in the 12-volt LED bulb in there and then just rewire the plug with a cigarette lighter plug attachment and then plug it into a 12-volt power source. That's an option, too. You would only have 4 days to study, said, till people started to go crazy with no power. A lot less than that, trust me. It all depends. It depends on what the power, when and how much the power is needed. If it's the summertime, nobody except the most hardy is going to be able to stand of temperatures of 40 plus degrees Celsius and no power. Okay? They made the most sternest, hardiest constitutions, yes. But the average person would seriously fade away. No water being pumped, no sewage being removed from the city's sewer lines. Toilets would back up. The power grid, most lift pumps only hold enough sewage for about 7 days, tops. I was very concerned about that in the case of Winston, because Winston has lift pumps like many cities do. If the lift pumps are not running, they expect that you can probably be offline for about 7 days before the lift pumps have to get back online to get the sewage to the sewage treatment plant. Wow. Yeah. I have LED bulbs now, except for 2 incandescent bulbs in the old studio, which we did upgrade them to LEDs also. But we still have boxes full of incandescent light bulbs. Up to 300 watts. But nobody in their right mind is going to want to put a 300 watt light bulb in a light fixture and a heat wave. No. These are all LED bulbs right now. But they all run on 120 volts mains power. Now, if they were running on 12 volts or even 5, yeah, then you'd be better off. Power, solar storage, solar power Battery backup, grid intertie. Grid intertie, like I said, is good if the grid's working, but if the grid goes down, you're out. Unless you had a separate system that can actually keep your power system going, which is a battery supplemental backup. Why does the grid intertie have to shut down? Well, there's two reasons. Number one, it's designed to keep frequency with the power grid. Okay? The power grid is the master clock, if you will. Power grid goes down, it shuts down because of safety. One, there's no longer timekeeping for maintaining frequency. And two, they don't want to accidentally have you start back feeding electricity into the grid and unfortunately, potentially electrocuting some poor innocent lineman trying to fix the problem in the first place. Well, 50 hertz, 100 volts to Japan. It's very common. I believe Eastern Japan is 50 hertz, 100 volts, 200 volts. Whereas Western Japan is 60 cycles at 100 and 200 volts. Right. Well, that too. You definitely don't want to feed the entire neighborhood from your little tiny polar system and cause your MOSFETs to burn up like a charcoal. United States, like I said once before, is so freaking behind in electricity power grid. It's ridiculous. But the thing is regardless, since so many things today can run on direct current, it is feasible that if you had a large enough battery bank, let's just keep it simple. Voltage, let's say 48 volts DC solar system. Even though it's kind of noisy, you can get yourself a buck converter and you can convert the voltage down from 48 volts down to whatever voltage the device needs. 5, 10, 12 volts, 24 volts, 48 volts. Doesn't need the buck converter. You can just basically power everything that way. And if you really need the inverter, it's far more efficient to run it on 48 volts than it is to run it on 12 or 24. Right. Especially during major windstorms or hurricanes, definitely. And the poor line guys have to deal with enough concerns trying to figure out which side of the wire is live. So backfeeding the entire neighborhood from your power inverter isn't exactly the way to do it. In fact, it's illegal anyway. Right, most home systems run at 48 volts. Makes sense. Some of the grid tie systems run at 600 volts. But yes, most run at 48 volts. $600 volts DC from a bank of solar panels on the roof, but you're not charging a 600 volt battery bank. Not that you couldn't, but the typical freestanding inverters are about 24 to 48 volts. Yeah, well, grid tie system is fine for areas so your grid doesn't go down, but it's terrible if the grid goes down because you're out of power. However, some people now are actually looking for combination systems. That way they can still sell the unused energy back to the utility company, but they can still have backup so that when the grid goes down, just like a transfer switch, it disconnects from the grid, and then the inverter will be running off the battery banks to provide the power for the building. At the same time, the automatic system could switch over when it sees that the electric grid is stable, and then it will just kick back over to the grid, and then it could actually also recharge those batteries as well. I saw a couple of those on photo induction. Yeah, they're more or less used for usually high voltage power supplies. Where current is needed. So some of them are still used to this day in major power substations, but most of them have gone to solid state controls by now. But you just don't sell power to the grid. You take load off the grid and save money that way. What's wrong with that? I think some of them still do sell it back to the grid too. Once your batteries are full and whatever you're not using, it can go right back to the grid and cause your meter to spin backwards. So once the batteries are full, and if you got extra capacity you're not using, it just sells it right back to the grid. Which solves the problem. It's just this. Solar panels, as long as you got sun, are receiving energy. What do you do with the excess energy once your batteries are full? It's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to sit around. But if you have it set up with the system to sell it back to the utility company, like let's say you're on holiday, you're not home, but your solar system is still running. Well, guess what? There you go. Your batteries are full. So now your inverter system automatically says, "Oh wait, grid's up. Yes, now I can sell this extra power we don't need back to the power company, and we can still get a credit." I don't know how that works either, Bubba. You're right. EE Vlog demonstrated that. You're right. I don't know how that works either. I don't know how they give you credit, but the old meters you used to get credit. So I don't know how that works with the new smart ones. But don't forget, they're measuring real power and not apparent power, which is more important when you have to deal with power factor, which is a complicated thing altogether in its own right. But the thing is say smart meter. We got a smart meter in the basement from my apartment. They replaced the old mechanical clunker with that thing. I don't know anything about it. Other than, it's all the apartments have one, so. No, he lays by the bedroom door because the air conditioner's on in the bedroom, and there's a cold draft that comes underneath it. Or it comes in the bedroom. Most home power factor isn't an issue unless you have a lot of motors. Exactly. You're right, Bubba. You're 100% right. However, any capacitive drop of power supplies do have to deal with power factors because they're 0.5 power factors. Oh, he's trying to keep cool just like everybody else says. My cat's smart enough. He knows how to come out of the heat. So power factor is a issue with capacitive dropper power supplies. Typical capacitive dropper power supply has a power factor of 0.5. Carlos says, "What's the point of doing all this if someone with a gun come along and just takes what you got?" Well, what's stopping anybody from taking what you got? The Grim Reaper is going to take what you got. Life is never secure, Carlos. You just do the best you can. That's all you can do in life. Just do the best you can. I would guess that most residences over 9 power factor. 0.9. Perhaps. Perhaps. That's a good question. I don't know. Resistive loads are 1 power factor. But if you got a lot of inductors, it's still going to give you a power factor too, but at least 0.5, maybe 0.7. Once you start talking about inductors and capacitors in the system, it's going to change the power factor. The power company knows that. That's why they don't measure for what they call parent power. If they did, they'd be rich and we'd be broker. Right, well, they've been working on that to make it better. Yeah, the obsession of stuff. I think Quark on Deep Space Nine talked about it pretty good when he talked about your obsession with stuff. We human beings have an obsession with stuff. We sure collect enough of it. When you finally go home, what happens to all your stuff? If you're lucky, it goes to somebody else who wants your stuff. Otherwise, it ends up in landfill somewhere or scrapped. We need to start looking at what's happening in South Africa, Cuba, Iran, and even other places now. This plague is getting worse. In the United States, please, let's not forget our own country. I think this plague is causing people to fall into madness. I think this plague is forcing people to fall into madness. The billionaires are leaving this planet. They're going to Mars. Good luck. You know, it's funny though, in the story about the Elon Musk ship, it's a generational vessel that ended up landing on Azeroth in my book. They wanted to explore other planets. They realized that they couldn't get to the other star systems within one lifetime. So they invested in a lured ship they called Elon Musk. I don't think Elon Musk was alive at the time, but it doesn't matter. It's a generational vessel. Several generations later, they arrived and they ended up crash landing in the Dead Scar and met up with the Cinderai. They're gonna go climbing. Pretty much, yeah. Don't forget there was supposed to be a television reality show for 2030 when they all ended up leaving Earth for good, go to Mars in 2030. And that was supposed to be a live reality TV show. I wonder how long that would go. I wonder how that would work. How long before people basically start killing each other off? If the environment doesn't, someone is probably going to go off the deep end. That's one of the reasons why the lower income people have got to basically get their act together and start taking charge once and for all. We can't stop the Elon Musk. We can't stop the Jeff Bezos. We can't stop them. Or the Warren Buffetts. Or the George Soros. They're going to do what they're going to do. So we need to consider what the ramifications are going to come to be when they finally do. Go hasta la vista, baby. I don't know what the Nuremberg Code is, so if you want to give me a quick 411 on what the Nuremberg Code is. Right now we're facing MEAD, mutually assured economic destruction. Mutually assured economic destruction. Well, maybe some of you have heard of MAD. Mutually assured destruction, talking about the time of the Cold War and the nuclear proliferation. Well, now we're entering what they call mutually assured economic destruction, or MEAD, which could still become MAD because somebody seriously has got the trigger finger on an ICBM launch code somewhere. Could be Pakistan, could be India, could be China, could be Syria. I don't think it's going to be America. America probably isn't going to likely to be the first one to fire an ICBM out. It's not going to take much. That's not a good question. What about all the missile silos that are out there in the western United States that are being surrounded by these wildfires? What happens to them? I know they're underground, but are they capable of protecting the ICBMs from extreme fire like that, burning over them? What about the nuclear power plants? What about the ones that basically have lost cooling water and eventually they're going to run out of diesel power for running the water pumps? What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen when all of a sudden all the power plants nuclear power plants for the storage pools run out of hot, cold running water circulating through the pumps? Are we going to have another Fukushima? Are we going to have another Chernobyl? Something to think about, guys. Really. You don't realize how much dependent we are on this infrastructure that's collapsing around us. Wow. Well, I digress. People don't really understand this, but we live in some pretty dicey times right now. Not only people going mad, people are going stark raving mad. Humanity is collapsing, it's tearing itself apart. It's going to take a group of very level-headed people to try to bring the society back into common sense and a normalized baseline. Isn't it funny, for example, YouTube promotes so much the drama, but you ever wonder something? Why does YouTube want to promote the drama so much? Because it sells. Michelle, every generation has believe that we're at the end of days. Yeah, here we are. And Gianni, have you ever noticed that things are getting worse? Where is the doomsday clock now? Is it still 2 minutes to midnight? Or we finally set the clock back? I don't think it moved back. I think the doomsday clock is still pretty much 2 minutes to midnight. But the question I've been asking is, why now? There's some sort of significance here. Exactly. Why now? I don't know. That is certainly a good question. Here's one for Budweiser. Why? Ask why. Drink Bud Dragon. I can't tell you why. I don't know. Or drink Bud Ice if that's your favorite. I don't know what's going on. But the point is that the situation is unsustainable. It's unsustainable. Come up to the reality, guys. One day, you're going to wake up. Your lights are not going to work. Your water's not going to work. You manage to find a battery powered radio. You're not going to hear any radio stations anywhere because somebody actually managed to blow up the power grid and destroy the transmitters at the radio stations. And then you're going to hear through the grapevine that a distant power plant lost cooling water and now has entered meltdown stage. Well, because somebody decided to hack it. Think about it. We live in very, very sensitive times with equipment that is so interconnected. Just like Montgomery Scott, Captain, it's not easy to mess up the plumbing. It isn't. Everything's interconnected to everything else. You think the Mayans were right or wrong? Was 2012 or 2021? I definitely think the 2012 was the beginning of the end times. I don't think it ended then, but I do think it was the beginning of the failure. Look at 2021. It's certainly 2012 was the beginning of the waking up of the awareness cycle, and then after that, it starts to fall apart very quickly afterwards. 2012 was only about 9 years ago, you know. I also believe it has something to do with what is talked about in the Bible and the rapture. I also believe it is related to what is talked about by the Ragnarok. I don't think it's just one particular person on a God's viewpoint. Who knows? Maybe it'll be just like what happened to the Roman Empire. Maybe it'll be the same thing that happened to Rome. Maybe we're going to be overrun by barbarians and sacked. Rome didn't collapse just because of that, of course, but by depravity and by social failures in the system. Yes, the fall of Rome was not just by one thing, but rather a group of things. Go look back at the early histories of the Roman Empire. Go take a look at what the later writers were saying at the time of the Roman Empire's collapse. See if you can find a copy of the testimonies of those writers that were there at the time of Rome was sacked, and the absolute depravity of the people. I think we should stop worrying about it and just do whatever we can to make the world a better place. I agree. But the problem is, tick-tock, tick-tock, we're running out of time. We're running out of time. The sooner we do something, the sooner we can begin the process of fixing the problem. Don't expect the politicians to do it. The politicians can't even seem to figure out which way to put their shoes on in the morning. Never mind trying to figure out how we're going to solve a problem that is bigger than they can. Unless there's something in it for them, they're not going to do it. That's just the way they think. No, I don't think it's entirely true. We can't fix it. We can. But it has to start on the individual level. Because our governments can't do it. We have to. One person at a time. Alright, guys. It's time to go to the soup kitchen. Time to go get meals on feet. And I'm going to leave you with these thoughts for today. Might be on later on tonight. I don't know. If I do, it's probably be outside on the porch. And we'll see what we can do. Well, once we do a full reset, Meteor certainly would be one way to do it. You got to start over. You got to start over with all new ingredients, all new materials, a whole new way of thinking. That's the best way. All right, guys. But for now, just think about this. I'm sure I'm going to end up getting a yellow dollar sign. I wouldn't be surprised. But if I do, I'm going to appeal it. I'm going to fight it. Because this is so important, we have to talk about it. It's not something I can afford to lose my monetization over. But I did want to address it. And I do feel like it's important to start standing up and bringing up the concerns. So everybody, thank you very much for being here. I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. like usual. If I'm on tonight, I will. Can't tell you when. I don't know when, if I'm on. So for now, I want you to have a nice night. I'll see you tomorrow morning officially. Okay? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys. Oh, one more thing. What's that? Don't forget that we still want to do Silvermoon Radio on Sunday on Discord. Michelle and I was a little bit disappointed that no one showed up last week. But if you can make it to Silvermoon Radio on Discord on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, that'd be wonderful. Absolutely. Okay, guys. For now,